Hey friends, welcome to afternoon yoga and welcome to your grounded strength flow. For today's class, if you think about grounded strength, we're going to keep both feet on the ground, so 2 feet on the ground at all times. There'll be no balancing in this class, and we will incorporate a few little strength moves throughout the class. So expect some of that, but overall you'll walk away from this class feeling in your body strong and a little bit more open. And we'll start just sitting on our heels here. So you can take a moment, if the heels are just something that doesn't feel right in your knees, it doesn't feel right in your hips, or in this moment in particular, find any comfortable seat. And then close down your eyes. Find a breath in through your nose. And the breath out through your nose. I'll take 2 more like that. Big breath in. And a long breath out. One more together. Big breath in. And an exhale breath, let it go. And you can blink your eyes open. And then when you're ready, make your way onto your back. So we'll start right away. Oh my goodness, with just hugging your knees into your chest. I'm very sore. So even hugging my knees, I'm like, oh, hello. Oh my gosh. But notice what's going on in your body. Whether it's the morning or middle of the day or later in the day, just kind of feeling into your own energy, feeling into where your body might need to linger based on that. See if you can feel full length of your spine as you keep your knees hugged to your chest. Keep your toes together and your heels together. On an inhale breath, bend your elbows so that your knees start to come a little closer towards your body. And then keep the toes and the heels together, but take the knees out wide and then out and around. As you come out and around, straighten your elbows so that you push the knees forward. You'll feel some length in your lumbar spine as you do that. And just take a couple of rounds and let it be slow. Let it be intentional. You can go opposite way. So pushing the knees forward and then taking them out and around and then in towards your body. And when you feel like you've had enough there, send all 10 toes up towards the sky. Toes come towards your face. So press your heels up towards the ceiling. You can bend your knees to get there. Take a couple of rolls of the ankles. Maybe you crack your toes. And then we're going to start to rock and roll, but I want you to take your sweet time, at least a few rocks forward and back as you rise up to a seat. And actually, we'll take it right into a tabletop, so you can kind of come through that seat as you go up and forward. But again, take your time. Let the rocks be something that is intentional, so you're getting a little massage of your spine. And then again, we're getting into the hamstrings already. Eventually you make your way, you cross your ankles, roll over the knees, and make your way into that table. Right away, let's just find fingertips back towards your body. So find a forearm stretch. Crawl your knees a little bit closer to your fingertips, just so you can tuck your toes, get fascia of the feet, and then forearms and wrist at the same time. So slight pull back of your bottom, pushing towards your heels. And you come back through center. You can flip your fingertips back towards the front of your mat. Walk your knees back just a hair. And then drop down to your forearms. Notice right away how that tailbone flips upward. Hug your lower belly in just a bit. Press into your palms. Press into your pointer finger, your thumb. Good, tops of your feet. As you inhale, think cow pose. So tip your tailbone, bring your chest forward, but careful on the neck. So this is already a little bit intense as we start to arch, so don't need too much happening there in the neck. As you exhale, press into your forearms. See if you can really get that spread of the shoulder blade. So chin tucks into your chest. You press, you press. We got one more. Inhale, drop your belly. Bring your gaze forward and through. Tip the tailbone. Let that articulation be slow. Exhale to round into your spine. And walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Press into your palms. We're not going to stay here in this thread the needle. We're just going to kind of move with the spine. So we're going to take a few taps. Left palm plant center of your mat. Let's go left side first, because why not? Scramble things up. Put your palm down right underneath your nose. Take a breath in. Send your right fingertips up and then make a fist. So before we ever get into bearing weight on the wrists, always, before you get into a down dog, just give those wrists some attention. We're going to take 3 rounds. As you exhale, you can keep the fist if you like it. Right shoulder is going to thread through and tap. Right arm threads through. So we tap right shoulder all the way down. Take an inhale breath, send it right back up. And take an exhale breath to tap. Notice if you're rushing here, if the breath is short, inhale breath, bring it up. And exhale breath to tap. That slow breath can be just such a regulator, so find what you need there. We're going to just switch it out. Right palm plants underneath your nose. Press into the tops of your feet. Inhale, left fingertips reach up. Make a fist. Roll out your wrists. And exhale breath, we tap. Left shoulder finds the mat. Inhale breath to reach up, find space, stack the shoulders. And exhale breath to tap. Inhale breath, we reach, we expand. And exhale breath to tap. Inhale breath, unwind, send your left hand back towards the sky. Then exhale, both hands come to the mat. Now, just for a moment, because why not? Crawl your fingertips forward towards the front of your mat. Keep your hips nice and high so the hips don't move. The knees stay underneath your hips. Start to crawl those fingertips forward. Now, I want you to come into like an active puppy pose. So we're not actually dropping down. Find your tippy fingers, your fingertips at the top of your mat. Press into those fingertips and then actually round your spine. So we're sort of in a puppy, but we have this kind of cat-like quality going on. As you inhale, just drop your belly, bring your gaze forward, so think cow pose. As you exhale, press into your fingertips and round. One more together. Inhale, drop your belly, bring your chest forward. Exhale, breath to round. Crawl your hands back underneath your shoulders. Spread your fingertips nice and wide, tuck your toes, and then lift your hips up high and back. Find down dog. Take a couple of breaths, just pedaling it out. Bend one knee and then the other. Shake your hips, swivel around. Scanning in from toes to nose. And just making a little note. What areas in your body today are calling for more attention? Good. Now, we're going to build a little strength, so just hang with me. Take your gaze up towards your fingertips, and I'm sorry, I promise I'm here too, fighting the fight. Drop down to your forearms and find a dolphin pose. Send your hips up high and back. Take your gaze in between your knees here. Good. Keep pressing into those forearms. Keep lifting up your tailbone so the ass goes up, up. Lift the heels. Inhale to press back into your palms. Straighten out one elbow at a time. Find your down dog. Lift your hips up high. Notice if you've created more space already in your shoulders by starting to activate those ligaments in your rotator cuff. We got one more there. Exhale, drop down one forearm at a time. Gentle, gentle on the shoulders. Press into your palms. Gaze in between your knees. Send your ass up. Lift your heels. Good. Exhale to release. One forearm at a time. Find that down dog. Send your belly toward your thighs, so bend your knees a whole lot. We're going to go all the way down with the hips. So keep pressing into your palms. Maybe you slide them one palm print back. Just give you a little less space there. As you exhale, just bend your knees. And so like you're loading up here. This is one of my favorite just ways to get into the hamstrings. So you can press into your palms or kind of shimmy your shoulder blades around. And then on an inhale breath, you straighten out, lift your ass up high, tuck your chin to your chest. Inhale to bend your knees, sink your hips all the way back. Yep, pressing into the palms. Maybe you tuck your chin to your chest. And on an exhale breath, lift your hips up high, find down dog. We are building in the shoulders. Can you tell? Inhale, right toes up towards the sky. Find a three-legged dog. We'll keep the hips nice and square. So maybe you gaze up at me. Tendency here is either to lift the leg, and now I'm just kind of like winging the leg around. I don't have a whole lot of integrity in that shape. Or you can square your hips, really flex those toes, activate the right glute. Exhale to step to the outer edge of your mat. So both hands come inside of your right foot. And take a moment and get oriented. Find, got a hair in my mouth. Find your fingertips and then just rock a little forward and back inside of that right knee. So again, we're early in this practice, so nothing too crazy in the hips. You're just bending and straightening into that front knee. Good. Eventually find a bend in your right knee. Stay on your fingertips. Keep the hips as they are, so hips don't move here. We're going to take 10 of the left knee tapping. So we tap down for 10 and then lift for 9. Lift for 8. Lift for 7. Long spine for 6. For 5. For 4. And 3. And 2. And 1. Find that low lunge and then pull back into your half split. So we're staying with the wide edge. So both fingertips are still inside, right toes pulling towards your face. You can keep a bend in that right knee, y'all. Just keep a long spine wherever you land. So rather than this like rounding thing, think almost upward facing dog in your chest. Without cranking your head or your neck, so keeping your gaze down at the floor. Inhale, bend into your right knee. Right toes come off of the mat, so outer edge of your mat here. Both hands come inside, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Left foot meets outer edge of your mat here, so toes out, heels in. Drop your bottom down and find yogi squat. And it's early in your practice, and I'm always going to encourage you to move. You have a body that's meant for movement, and you're not a robot, and at any time, you're allowed to express that in your body. You're allowed to move no matter what, no matter where, no matter when, no matter how, however it feels right. And sometimes stillness is what the body is craving, but notice if it's not, especially early in your practice. Good. Fingertips find your mat eventually, and then turn your toes forward, straighten it out, and find your first forward fold. So bend your knees a whole lot. I repeat, bend your knees. And then find a little sway from side to side. And this is one of those places in your practice that I'm going to encourage you to find what works for your practice. Every time I come to my first forward fold, fingertips on the mat, bending the knees, moving around, maybe take a couple halfway lifts if it feels appropriate for your spine. Letting the practice be an exploration, letting your body be something that you travel through, something that you work around, you work with, you work within, you work without. Curl your fingertips back underneath you. Find an inhale and hands to the shins. Come halfway lift. Pull the crown of your head towards the front of your mat, and then shoulders pull way back. So see if you can really feel. Focus on your collarbones. Notice if they're spreading. Hips keep sending back towards the back of the mat. Exhale to bend your knees. Catch your calves. Tuck your chin to your chest. Soft bend in your knees. Inhale, root to rise, both arms up and overhead, palms come together. Exhale, hands to heart and down to your sides. Feel the lift up through the crown of your head, and then collarbone spread, shoulders roll down your back. Feel the press of your feet into the mat. So there's a rooting, there's a lifting. Working with the polarities, working with the opposites. Inhale, breath, both arms up and overhead. Exhale, the hips go back. You dive and you fold. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Find length, find that stretch. Now, left foot's going to step to the left outer edge of your mat and then just slide that right foot back. So we're coming in the lizard lunge on the left side this time. And again, we're on fingertips here. You can take a couple bending and straightening of that front leg. Just kind of letting yourself settle into this pose. Getting that stickiness out. Bend your left knee, and then we're going to tap the right knee. It's for 10. Don't move the hips. Engage your core. For 9. For 8. For 7. Push that back heel back. For 6. For 5. Spine is long. For 4. For 3. For 2. And 1, lift that back knee up, find the stretch. Exhale, back knee lowers, pull your hips back, find half splits. Left toes towards your face this time. And again, keep sliding that left hip back into its socket, your right hip forward. So what wants to happen often is the opposite of that. The left hip keeps sliding forward and the right hip slides back. So do your best. Pull your right hip or left hip back, your right hip forward. Keep reaching. Good. Inhale to bend your left knee, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and then crawl your way towards the long edge of your mat. Find a wide-legged fold, and then pigeon toe your feet in. So toes turn inwards just a little bit. Will protect your knees. And then eventually you find your version of a wide-legged fold. You can catch the ankles, chaturanga arms, down dog arms, anything that serves you. Wherever you land, shake your head no. And then shake your head yes. Good, we're going to find a couple rounds of cat-cows here. And if you've never done this before, just kind of play around with the movement. We'll crawl the fingertips right underneath your shoulders and find fingertips. So the palms reach up. You press into the fingertips themselves. Inhale to bring your chest forward and through. Tip your tailbone a little bit. Exhale to round into your spine. Tuck your chin to your chest. Spread, spread, spread those shoulder blades. Inhale to bring it forward and through. It's nice and slow. And exhale to round. If you don't feel like you have enough space to round, crawl your fingertips forward just a bit. Good, we got 2 more. Inhale, bring it forward. Chest comes through, tip the tailbone. And exhale to round. Linger on that rounded pose. Last one, inhale, bring it forward. And exhale, we round. Crawl your hands back underneath your shoulders if they're not already there. Toes turn out, heels turn in, sit your bottom down, and then take your hands up to heart center. Find goddess pose. You can take, again, a little movement here, a couple sways from side to side. And just move it with the breath. Inhale, you rise up, palms come together, you straighten out the legs. Exhale, the arms go out wide and then hands to your heart, sit low. We're gonna take 2 more like that. Inhale, rise up, let your gaze follow your thumbs. Exhale, out and around and sit low. Last one, inhale, rise up. Exhale, out and around, sit down with the hips. Inhale, rise up, star pose. Let it be active, so spread open your chest, make some space, active fingertips. Turn your toes towards the long edge, and then fold all the way down. Wide-legged fold. Inhale, halfway lift, rise up onto your fingertips. Exhale, travel to the top of your mat. Step it back into a high plank. Heels go back. Lower belly hugs in. You knew we were going to be here eventually. Puff up your shoulder blades. Engage your quads. Engage the back line, so glutes and hamstrings. Notice that difference. Press into your hands. Elbows stay hugging in towards side body. We're going to lower down halfway, nice and slow. Keep your neck long. Halfway, halfway. You hover in that chaturanga. Flip your toes. Inhale to press up, upward facing dog. Lift your thigh bones. Good. Exhale to press back. As you press back, it's one fluid movement. Right toes lift right up. Find a three-legged dog. Good. Exhale, crunch, knee to nose, round into your spine. Inhale, send it up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, crunch, right knee, right tricep. Hover here for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale to step to your right thumb. Plant your left palm down. Take a breath in, send your right fingertips high. Find a runner's twist. Find that lift, a buoyancy in your hips. Keep pressing into your left fingertips to initiate that twist. So as you press, we start to twist a little deeper. Good. Right hand comes inside of your right foot. It's a good place for a block or a prop if you like it, or you can find fingertips. Pivot your back heel flat. Right elbow's pushing into your right knee. Take a breath in, send your left hand up. We're in a version of extended side angle. Find that lift of your left fingertips. Now, your hips are going towards the long edge of your mat, so away from that right knee. And then the shoulders are rolling back, so over the right knee. Notice that stretch in the hip when you decide to shift your hips in that way. Let your left hand lead you. Keep a bend in your front knee. Inhale, sweep up and back. Reverse warrior. Left hand can find your low back, so a little half wrap. Keep finding that lift. Inhale, rise up, star pose. Turn the toes out, the heels in. Exhale, hands come to your heart. And then back knee bends. Find Skandasana at the back of your mat. So if Skandasana doesn't work for you, you can find a lunge here at the back. A little more active, but will give you that same driving sensation. If you drop down to Skandasana, right toes are pointed up, right knees pointed up, and then spine is long, so you're sitting up here. That left heel can stay lifted. Good, we got one more breath here. And then start to crawl. We'll make a transition back through a wide-legged fold, so the fingertips just start to come back through the center of your mat. Come all the way forward. Find your low lunge here on the right side. Lower down your back knee. Inhale to rise up. Find Anjaneyasana, a little front body stretch in that left hip. Exhale, hands come to your mat. Now listen here. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, step your right foot back and find a high plank. Lower all the way down to your belly, so bottom of a plank here. Bend your right knee. Inhale to press up into this little half baby cobra. Now we're lingering here for a moment. Exhale, breath back down just a tad. And then we're gonna step right foot behind your left. So we end up in this little version with the right elbow on top of the right knee, sitting up tall. So let's do that again. Roll back to your belly. Keep a bend in that right knee. As you inhale, you step it back. Find a seat. Yeah, just a way to get into a wild thing and protect your shoulder. So crawl your left wrist right underneath your left shoulder. Press into your, what leg is this? Your left heel. Press it into the mat. That's gonna drive your hips up, all right? And then left hamstring, left glute is engaged, even your left calf. As you inhale, lift your hips up high. Find that front body stretch. Good, and then see if you can let it be one fluid movement. You come through a side plank, so start to find your right tippy toes. Roll it back through. And then all the way down, chaturanga. Inhale, breath will take you up. Upward facing dog. Exhale, breath takes you back. Downward facing dog. Left toes right away, they lift. Exhale, crunch, knee to nose. Inhale, up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee, left try. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, up and back. And exhale, we step to left thumb. Right palm plants. Find a little space here. So lift that right heel up a little higher as you plant into your right palm. Send your left hand up towards the sky. Stack those shoulders, lift up your hips, squeeze your inner thighs. And exhale to pivot on the back heel. Plant your left fingertips inside of your left foot and then start to literally peel yourself open. So imagine you're drawing a bow and arrow. You're stacking on your way up. Right hand lifts. Hips shift away from your left knee. Press your elbow into your knee. Press your knee into your elbow. And then roll your shoulders back. Create more space. Right hand drives you. Lower belly's engaged here, y'all. Right hand drives you. Inhale, up and back. Reverse warrior. Right hand comes behind your back. Left hand reaches up. Keep a bend in that front knee. So imagine that I'm standing next to you. I'm pressing into that front thigh and then lifting your left fingertips higher. Inhale, rise up, star pose. Turn those toes. Back knee bends, so right knee bends. Drop yourself down into Skandasana at the back of your mat. And again, if Skandasana is not available, you just find a lunge at the back of your mat. If you do decide to land, the left toe is pointing up, the left knee is pointing up, the spine is long here. So if you need, sometimes blocks can be nice to just sit the spine up a little bit, especially if you're crouching down, trying to reach for the ground. It's just one of those little tips and tricks we can use to give ourselves better alignment in the space. Okay, last breath here. Crawl your way back through a wide-legged fold. Take a moment, take a beat actually in your wide-legged fold. Tuck your chin to your chest. Inhale, halfway lift. Find length in your spine. And then travel up to the top of your mat. It's a low lunge. Lower down your back knee. We always got to just welcome in those hips. Squeeze your inner thighs. Inhale to rise up. Anjaneyasana, biceps to your ears. Exhale, hands come to your mat. Now we're going to go through that little round here. Step your left foot back. Find your high plank. Lower down bottom of a plank. And then bend your left knee. Elbows stay hugging in towards your side body. You can flatten out the right foot. Inhale to press up into a little version of baby cobra with that knee bent. Exhale, you lower down about halfway to flip over. Step that left foot back behind you, so off of your mat. Find your bottom on the ground. Left elbow meets your left knee. Now remember, that right foot, that right heel is pressing into your mat. You engage your glutes, you engage your hamstrings to initiate the lift. So as you inhale, lift up those hips. Stretch through the front body, find the space, keep lifting in the hips. Engage those glutes. Good, see if you can start to shift. Roll through that side plank, so start to lift up the heel. Find your tippy toes on the left side. Roll it back through your plank. Lower down halfway. Inhale presses you up. And exhale presses you back to a child's pose. The hips go back. And the forehead finds your mat. Take a moment here in your child's pose to find steadiness in your breath. There's lots of ways that we can practice grounding, but one of the ways is by noticing the contact points of your body on the earth, on the mat. And noticing what you can smell, what you can taste, what you can hear in your surroundings. Press your way back through a tabletop. Cross your ankles back behind you. Send your feet forward. And then come on down to your back. We're going to take one little round of a bridge pose here. So crawl your ankles, your heels, towards your bottom. Press your hands into your mat. Shimmy your shoulder blades in underneath you. Open up the heart space. Take a breath in and lift your hips up. Send your breath in low, down into your belly button. Find that lift. Keep pressing into the feet, lifting up the toes. And exhale, lower back down. Hug your right knee into your chest and your left leg out long. Find a breath in to find compression. Pull your right knee into your chest and maybe out towards the right side of your mat. As you exhale across your body, find a supine twist. Your version here. Arms can go wherever they're most comfortable, but notice what's going on in your head and in your neck. So if we can help it, keep pressing the back of your head into your mat. So rather than taking your gaze right or left, that just feels like a lot on the cervical spine. And often our thoracic spine is not that available. So I'd rather you focus on the thoracic, so middle of your spine, rather than cranking up your neck. Inhale, breath, roll it back to center. Right hand catches the outer edge of your right foot. Find a half happy baby. If that outer edge is not accessible, find your right ankle. And if that right ankle is not accessible, just find the back here of your right knee, so more like the hamstring area. And just find a little tug, a little pull down. At the same time you're pulling down, you're pressing your heel up towards the ceiling. And then noticing your lower back, press it down on the mat. Exhale, slowly release. Right leg long, left knee in towards your chest. Take an inhale breath to find compression. Maybe you take that knee towards the left edge of your mat. Exhale, breath to cross your body. Find a supine twist. Feeling space in your left rib cage, your left lung. Remember that head. Press it into your mat. Notice if the hip flexors are gripping, let that go. And next, inhale, breath, roll it back to center. Left hand catches the outer edge of your left foot, left ankle, or the back of that left knee, the left hamstring. Send your heel up towards the ceiling, and then pull a little weight in your elbow to tag that hip down. Left hand can find or right hand can find your right hip. Notice your low back, press it down. And exhale to let that go. I'm going to leave you here on your back, soles of the feet together, the knees go wide. Take your hands to your lower belly. We'll drop in together with a couple rounds of breath. Nice long inhale through your nose. Fill up your belly, let the hands expand, let the breath expand into your hands. And exhale out of your mouth, make a ha sound. You're in your house, so any sound you want to make, quite honestly. Inhale, fill it up. And exhale, let it go. Last one, inhale, fill up, fill up. And exhale, let it go. You are more than welcome to stay here. I always wish I had more time to guide you into a longer version of Savasana, but know that if you have the time and the space to take it, especially, just stay for 10 more breaths at the very least. If you're closing out your practice with me, take your hands together, thumbs to your third eye, a moment of compassion and gratitude for your body, for yourself. One last breath together. Big inhale through your nose. And exhale out through your mouth. Peace, peace, peace.